With the new Zamorak boss fight set out to be the most difficult challenge yet, a lot of non-endgame players are probably thinking, oh, I will not be able to participate in this and the rich will just be getting richer and I will not be benefiting from this. But what if I tell you that you can actually make a lot of money off this release, even if you cannot take out Zamorak? Let's talk about it. Yo, what's going on guys? My name is Zamorak and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming Zamorak boss release and how you, as a non-endgame PVMer, can also be making a lot, and then I mean a lot of money from this release as well, assuming it's as difficult as Jack sets it out to be, because let's be honest, if you're releasing a new endgame boss, you're also going to be saying that it's going to be the most immersive, expensive and challenging boss fight to date, and we'll have to wait and see. We've heard this before, and then they kind of underestimated the community, and then it was kind of figured out, and yeah, we all know how this goes. We've been here before. But this is assuming that it will actually be as difficult, and that you will not be able to take it on, at least as a mid-level player, until there's some actual good guides out there that explain everything in detail, and that the boss is fully figured out and fleshed out with the mechanics, and that everyone got it down like clockwork. However, I do want to give two disclaimers before we get into this video. First of all, this will not be a preparation guide on how to take on the boss. This will merely focus on how you can directly and indirectly make a lot of money from the Zamorak boss fight and the elite dungeon that comes with it as a non-endgame PVMer. If you want a guide to actually prepare you to take on Zamorak, go check out Nuzz's guide. I will put it in the cards and description down below, and go comment on this video telling him that I sent you. Second of all, this video is obviously made in advance because it's a preparation guide on the new boss fight. So if any of the information becomes inaccurate or just irrelevant when the boss comes out and you're watching this after the boss comes out, please don't comment on this video saying, oh, what you said at 4:38 is not accurate anymore because A, B, or C is now the case. Well, obviously I didn't know, okay? So yeah, I just wanted to point it out and spare you some time typing out a comment. And because generally some people don't look at the date of a video and just see the video, click on it, and then hear someone say it and then think, hey dude, what you're saying is not right, and genuinely comment saying, oh dude, you're saying something wrong at 4:38, and genuinely mean well and didn't look at the date. So I just like to point it out. If you're going to enjoy this video, definitely go give it a like. It generally helps me out with the algorithm and stuff. I know all the YouTubers say it, but generally it does really help me out getting this video to more people, and especially new people that are either not subscribed or are not regularly seeing my videos. Also, subscribe if you're new. We're still on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We are 150 subscribers off, so thank you guys for all the support. I really do appreciate it, and definitely join in with the discussion in the comment section down below as well, because if you have any tips, definitely leave them down there and I'll try to upvote them and highlight them and whatever I can do to make people see it. And if you want to see those comments, scroll down and look at the comments, and yeah, that's it. Let's get into the video. Let's start off with something that you need for every single boss fight, and this tip kind of applies to every single boss, so you can really apply this to literally any future boss release as well, and that is gear. And I mean gear as in obviously armor and weapons, but also supplies like brews and blue blubber jellyfishes and everything else that people will need to take on a boss like Zamorak. Go figure out what works by either watching like someone like Evil Lucario on Twitch or something. See what works, because usually a lot of the PVM related supplies are going up either around the boss release or during the boss release. Maybe they figure out that melee is actually the best style, even though magic is meta right now, and after that comes range. And people figure out, hey dude, if you're using a scythe at Zamorak, it will do like double damage or something. I'm not assuming that will be the case, but you never know. A lot of melee upgrades will go up, whether that's greater ability codexes, whether that's actual weapons, whether that's gear, whether that's actual rings or whatever. You never know what works with a new boss release, and it's always really good to keep an eye on it by, as I said, watching the end game PVMers on Twitch and, you know, figuring it out for yourself, and then going to those bosses that drop those items. So let's say Masterwork is really good, and obviously a lot of endgame people will probably have Masterwork by this time, but the chance that Torva will be going up again, even though it's already really high, is quite high. And the same with like the ability codexes from Elite Dungeons 2. The chance that they're going up as well, if melee, for example, obviously we don't know, but let's say melee is good, will be going up as well. So go do Elite Dungeons 2. That is not too difficult to do, especially not solo, but you can do a duo as well and get the same rates now with the new update recently. That is always something to look out for with any and every boss release, is seeing what other prices it affects, because a lot of people just seem to think that when a new boss releases, everything else gets devalued, but that's not the case. A lot of items actually do go up with bosses as well. Look at the Fractured Staff of Armadillo, look at the magic buffs, and look at all the magic weapons that just absolutely skyrocketed. Also, a good thing to look at is what does Zamorak drop? If it drops the bow that everyone's expecting, the God Arrows will probably be going up as well if they have some good synergy with it. The God Arrows that recently released with the little fletching and fire making update, go make those arrows. Go camp the God Wars Dungeon 3 bosses for the anima and see which arrows seem to be working best with the new bow, obviously if the new bow comes out. And maybe it drops some ability codexes as well. As I said, if it will drop melee upgrades, for example, because that is the most underpowered style at the moment, go figure out what it will affect and what if it will affect two-handed items or dual wield or whatever, and go get those weapons, because they will eventually skyrocket when people figure out how to use certain new abilities or certain new upgrades with the older weapons as well, because it will all affect each other. As I said, look at the magic upgrades. One staff and one ability absolutely skyrocketed the dual wield meta and just the two-handed meta as well. So look at it, pay attention, and go farm the slightly lower level bosses that you can take on to make a lot of money. And maybe wait with selling, because maybe selling it straight away will not work, but just have it in your bank. Or maybe even if you have some spare cash, buy it up and prepare and kind of try to merge these endgame PVM players. Next up, this will be an elite dungeon, meaning there will be demi bosses or semi bosses or whatever they're called. Let me know in the comment section down below what they're actually called. I don't know. I think they're demi bosses, right? Anyway, doesn't matter. Go see if they might drop some loot. Maybe they drop an ability codex, or maybe they drop a slightly less good weapon, or maybe it drops some essence that you need to charge the new bow or charge the new set of armor or whatever they decide to release. And go see if you can farm those bosses, because the endgame people are not going to be farming the demi bosses. They're going to be farming Zamorak as much as they can, and they might skip over the first or second boss or third boss or fourth or how many they decide to go with, and you can benefit from it because they might need the items that come from those bosses. We obviously do not know. There's a high chance that they also will not drop anything and that they will be a waste of time, but go see if they do. Maybe they have some uniques to themselves, like how Bossy McBossface had Swordy McSwordface, which obviously is not that great, but it is worth something, or at least it was worth something. It isn't worth something anymore, but it used to be worth like 40 mil, I believe, which, I mean, is a decent drop, but if it's not too difficult to farm, go try and farm those. And I'm not talking about the bosses like Bossy McBossface, for example, but I'm more talking about how you have the Leviathan and Terracat, I think he's called, in Elite Dungeons 3. I mean those bosses. I don't mean the Bossy McBossface bosses, if that makes any sense. But maybe they drop something as well. But I mean the like bigger demi bosses before you get to the end game of the Elite Dungeon. Obviously, I'm assuming these will work like the other Elite Dungeons that we already know. But it's all assumptions, let's be real. Next up, and lastly I guess, are the trash mobs, even smaller in the dungeon. Elite Dungeons 3 is infamous for its experience and money gain that you can get from it. Even after many nerfs, it is still such good money and such good experience. I hope the Jagex learn from it, because it's very bad to have something like that in the game, because you can literally start an account and within a week you can be max combat if you have someone who can carry you through Elite Dungeons, or even if you have an alt to carry you through Elite Dungeons. So I don't want to say it ruins the game, but it makes it a little bit too easy. It's already is easy enough, but it makes it too easy as well. So hopefully they'll learn from it, but let's be real, with Jagex, they probably didn't. So there's a high chance that either this dungeon will, I don't think it will be high in experience. I think they learned their lesson on that one. But it might be good for profit. And I don't mean profit with like a big drop that you can get, but more the consistent money. With the introduction of the Elder God Wars dungeon, we've also seen the introduction of Orichalcum Salvage. In Elite Dungeons 3, there is a drop that you can get of like 68 big plated rune salvage from literally the trash mobs. It is very rare, but you can get it. What if you get a large Orichalcum salvage, which I think will be going for like 150k, and you get 50 of them. That is literally a 5 million GP. No, actually, it's more. Is it 50 mil? No, it's not. No. But it's a lot of money. Anyway, it is a lot of money. We're not going to do maths in this video. It's a lot of money. And that goes for other drops as well. Those trash mobs are usually very consistent money, at least in Elite Dangerous 3. Go get your consistent money. A lot of people tend to forget that consistent money is also really good money. You can obviously do hard clue scrolls, for example, that is consistent money and have a chance of the, you know, slightly less expensive Barrows and Shadow die, obviously in perspective compared to the Blood and Third Age die. Or you can do Elites, which is absolutely terrible money, but do have the big boy drops. And at the end of the day, you'll be making more money when you get lucky. But if you don't get lucky, Hearts are way better money than Elites. Even Easies are better money than Elites, because Easies are consistent 25 to 30 mil GP an hour, depending on the fortune prices, and that goes for these trash mobs as well. If they're consistent money, go farm them and try to get gear to go do point 1 of this video and get more money that way and snowball your way up there. There's a lot of money to be made, even if you cannot take on the Zamorak boss fight. So definitely go do that, because we don't want the rich getting richer, even though they will, but that doesn't matter. I hope this guide was really useful, or guide or video, whatever you want to call it. If it was useful, let me know in the comment section down below. As I said, if you have any more tips as well, definitely leave them down there. And leave a like on this video as well if you did enjoy it. And if you thought it was useful, subscribe if you're new. And let me know what other content you want to see from me when it comes to commentaries and just in general, just video ideas, if you have any, when it comes to these videos. And obviously, I will have my own ideas. I have some new series coming up, not a progress series. I have 2 running every single Saturday, so go check them out as well. But something else that will be on my channel semi-regularly, actually, besides these commentary videos. So stay tuned for that, subscribe. And my name's Zamorak, and I shall see you guys in my next video.